Hi people and welcome. You all know that I'm a big fan of being able to draw things from the top of my head, and the way I do this is by sketching my surroundings. But what I'm not so good at is drawing environments from the top of my head, such as buildings, objects, places. So this is why I made this sketchbook here called Environments, because in it there are only studies of environments. Some of them are studies made on the scene, others are imaginative environments. I hope you want to tag along, and you can sit back with a cup of joe or a cup of tea, whatever you fancy, and just enjoy. First drawing here, a couple of imaginative drawings actually are apart from this lamp here. Just trying to have a bit of fun here with different kinds of designs. This one also is my own lino cut box here and lino cut materials. The rest is imaginative. This is for a children's book. Here I'm basically just trying to have a lot of fun, drawing carefree with a thick marker, no intention of being perfect or anything, just having fun. This is the character of the children's book, biking through the city that's awakening. We have a guy down here waving from this little newspaper kiosk here. This was a study from a building just opposite of our window. Sunday morning, I think it was, and I just managed to capture some birds flying there in the background, and tried to capture the texture of the wall here with the cracks and all. This was from, I believe it was from a newspaper. These drawings were actually made while walking, at least these two. Quite a challenge, but also quite fun. I think on this one I stepped up and actually studied the roof. And here I also stepped up. This is a fun way to, sometimes it can be quite overwhelming to study something and say, I want to draw this landscape. Instead, you can do it in a sort of more comics way, and just draw these little fragments. Draw a box and then draw your composition in that box. Then you're kind of limited. It's a quite good idea to do that. My daughter. A lamp we have. Just little drawings here. This was from a photo actually, so I cheated a little bit. I usually swear to draw from actually seeing with my eyes. I think this gives more practice. But I like this way the angles here, how the picture was taken. You have a good feeling of how the room kind of goes in perspective. These, I can tell, was also drawn while walking. And if you ever tried this before, you know it's difficult. If you haven't tried it, try it out. You have to really be fast and you have to take some decisions. And here you really practice drawing without having it perfect. This was a combination of drawing while walking, but also when I came home, I did some some extra shading, some cross-hatching here on the tree. Train station. Couple of dogs sneaked in. This is a truck interior drawn from memory. I have a thing for especially old machines. I don't know why. The handles, the instruments, all the things that I don't know anything about. I think they're quite fascinating. A kid's tape player. I tried to capture the same colors here. I think it was quite fun to draw. Little car. Perspective study with a fine liner and a color pencil. Sometimes during my days, I have very little time to draw in actually. And on those days, I think it's important for me to just draw like 5 minutes. If that's all I can manage in one day, then that's okay. It's better to draw 5 minutes each day than not draw for a couple of days and then draw, for instance, 1 straight hour. Rather just stick to drawing a bit every day, so you don't get out of tune with your practice. This is from a garden in Copenhagen. We see a heron here. I like the composition here. And these are pretty sure drawn in about 5 minutes. So these are some busy days. We just need to get those drawings in. This could be for a book where there's a library. Very crooked lines here. It was fun to draw. Some imaginative drawings again. Weird houses. A vase here. There was the day before New Year's Eve. 3 days, I think, before I was tested positive with COVID-19. We have a car interior here. And I notice here on YouTube, we have many sketchbook tours where people share, well, most of the things that people share are quite finished works, whereas I think mine are more messy and more unfinished, you could say. And I think that is to me a sketchbook is all about sketching, really. So to me, a sketch is not something that should take so long. It should be a study, a practice, sort of a thing that you keep to practice drawing, and maybe you can use some of it for future work, or I hope it to be that way. But yeah, practice. And then the thing about drawing what I see is all about imprinting things in my brain so that I can draw it for later on. For instance, a van. When I've been drawing this van, I have kind of a collection of a van in my brain. So when in the future I'm about to draw a van, I have that imprint in my head, sort of. Just practicing a couple of shapes here for a house. I have some more of the fragments in boxes here from the National Museum, the Danish National Museum. This is one of our shelves, and all these tables are drawn from imagination. Just trying to vary, to push myself to see how many tables could I come up with. And I'm sure that I could have gone further. Some benches and bicycle holders from my neighborhood. And this was from a local cafe, where I was quite fascinated. As I've mentioned, I'm fascinated with machines. And I think this machine here is the one where they roast coffee. And yeah, to me, it has a lot of character. So I thought that was kind of fun to draw. And just a fine liner and then a ink wash on top of it. This is a dog and a person seen from our window. I can tell you guys that the dog is called Norbert. I think that's a perfect dog name especially for a dog that's so huge. It looked even bigger in reality. Some of my daughter's favorite things. I was so tired when drawing this, I remember. But again, 5 minutes, guys. That's the golden rule. This is from our local, called the airplane playground, because they have like 2 wrecks of airplanes lying there. There's also a shipwreck, actually. I don't know why the theme they chose the theme for the playing ground, but it's a very popular place and has a good atmosphere. Our dining table, drawn in a wobbly style. And a bit longer study here. This was more than 5 minutes from inner city. Drew it from a photograph. It would simply be too cold if I should have been studying that here in winter. I like the way of just using 2 colors here to highlight some of it. And then the last one, a study of a boat, also from a photograph. Try to work a bit with pastels here. Yeah, that was the last drawing. I hope you enjoyed this little environment sketchbook tour here. Now my hope is for me to be able to draw more from memory environments in the future. Have a great day, and until next time, have fun drawing.